Hey, welcome to the DB channel, and today I do have a Hexeblaumon versus Lilithmon deck for you guys, and we'll check it out together as the Hexeblaumon do go first in this game, actually going for the rookie and going for the memory boost straight up. Actually going to pick up the Vmon from the top 4, putting it to hand, and the 3 memory does pass to the Lilithmon here. Now Lilithmon does originate from Singapore, I will believe, and it comes from a player called Alfred Go. So he's actually a very strong player in Singapore itself, and he does come up with this idea of this Lilithmon. I'll be going through the Lilithmon idea in the end of the video so that it's actually easier for me to explain to you guys. But we shall look at the game here as the Black Hexeblaumon does Digiburst, calling out the Gazimon, which is the #1 counter to blue in my opinion, because blue doesn't have any good removals except the Vidramons, but Vidramons does need you to actually swing, and he can just simply call the Gazimon next turn. So as you guys can see, the Gazimon is on the field and it does stop the memory boost there, choking it at 1 memory, and looks like the blue player, which is me, in this case doesn't have any level 4s, but we do hit into a Jack Rate here, which is actually one of the core pieces for Lilithmon. And the turn does pass to the purple player here, as he does hatch to a Demi-Meramon, evolving to a Meramon here for 1 cost, and thus decides to swing at the Vmon, which does help me to draw in the previous turn, but looks like it's the end of the journey for him. And it does end the turn with the Takumi there. Takumi is a very strong card for Lilithmon in general, because it does stop Rookie Rush. As you guys can see, I'm just throwing bodies, but it does cost me 1 memory for each swing. And I do finally draw to level 4 here, evolving to it. And I do finally evolve to the Crystal Piltramon, the level 5, to actually detach one of the Digitama here. But thanks to that Gazimon on the field, I'm not able to actually gain memory through the Gabumon skill. So very unfortunate, as he can safely actually evolve to the Chimeramon, which he can't do so if it's only 2 memory, but thanks to that Gazimon once again. And he does go to a Meramon in the nursery here, passing him back just 1 memory, and I do really hope that the memory boost can be used there, but Gazimon is yet again stopping there, allowing me to actually evolve to the Hexeblaumon, but passing a turn already when I could actually be swinging in the same turn thanks to that memory boost. It does finally evolve to the Wargreymon here for 3 costs, passing me back 1 memory here. So here's actually a slight misplay here. I would say I actually should have swing with the Hexeblaumon, and it will be doing 2 criticals against his security, given that it's only 3 security here, and he's not able to actually punish me, given that the deck doesn't actually run any hard removal until the Lilithmon combo. So he does actually finally push out the Lilithmon here, going for the white option here, and there's a slight misplay as he forgot to actually gain 2 memory there. So it's actually evolved to the Sword here, and imagine if he does have 3 memory here. So he does use the Sword ability first to actually call a blocker as well as another Gazimon. So the Omon Sword will swing, bouncing back the Lilithmon to hand, and as you guys can see, if you do have 3 memory, you're actually able to evolve a Lilithmon on top of another level 5 there, and you're actually able to pick up that Jack Rate from the drop zone to your hand, and you're actually able to cast a spell and then gain memory once again, and then continue to flood the field with a lot of Digimon, given that this game doesn't have a limit for you. So you're actually able to flood so much until you can just OTK your opponent. So that's the very fun idea about Lilithmon, and I would say it's actually a very strong deck if piloted correctly. So I do evolve to Hexeblaumon there, but once again, the past 2 turns that I didn't swing with it do punish me there. So he does use the Jack Rate here and then gain many memory here, giving him to 5 memory already, and does evolve to an Lilithmon, going to 2, and is able to pick up that 2 Jack Rate that he has. He does use Takumi to draw 1 more card first, and now the Jack Rate will give him another 1 memory, and another 2 memory for Lilithmon, another 1 memory there, and he does go to 6. He's able to go to another Zord there. So as you guys can see how the combo is supposed to flow, as he does go for the top 2 cores from the drop zone, and the field is pretty much flooded. He does use the Zord ability to kill the Hexeblaumon once again, and at this point it's almost guaranteed GG, given that I do not have any Digimon in nursery and he does have 3 security to work with, so there isn't much I can do. And thanks to the Gazimon once again, which is the MVP of this game, I do actually concede this game and then move on to the next game. So the next game I do start first, I believe, hatching into a Hapupamon here, evolving to the Gomamon, and then starting the game with Matt Ishida. So I didn't have a Tamer in the previous game, so it does allow him to actually memory start me quite a bit. And thanks to the Gazimon, I'm not able to actually even gain any memory, so that's very unfortunate. But this game will be slightly different, I believe. And he does go for the Takumi here after evolving to the Devimon and then hard calling a Labramon here. So he does draw, and will be discarding the Gilmon to the drop zone there, and thanks to that Matt Ishida, I do guarantee 3 memory here, but I do go for the Dual Tamer there, which is actually, I strongly think is actually the best Dual Tamer in the game, given how much, or rather how easy it is to gain that memory, and the card does allow you to actually achieve that condition as well. So he does actually evolve the Digimon there, and using Takumi, he's actually able to draw 4 cards and then discarding 2. So this deck does recycle, or rather allows you to actually draw a lot into the deck, and then you are able to, you know, find your combo pieces and then going for the Lilith loop. So we do evolve the Hexeblaumon here, and thanks to that Digimon evolution source, he's able to be just 2 cost evo, passing him back just 1 memory here. So a slight something to take note against the Lilith loop is actually that they are actually quite afraid of memory control, as their only outs is most likely going to be Jack Raid, but Jack Raid does require you to have 10 drop zones to even be a Hammer Spark level, so he does evolve to the Lilithmon here, given that he's not scared of what I can do. But I do actually play the OG Omimon here, which is actually perfect in answering the board. But I do swing the Hexeblaumon here, which is very interesting. So very unfortunate I don't have a level 6, but I do detach the one on the Meramon there, so that I'm able to draw with the Upamon, and I do gain memory to 4 thanks to the Gumamon. With no jamming here, I do hit into a Lilithmon, classic stuff, and the level 5 does die. So very unfortunate, and I do end the turn with a Dual Tamer, as well as a hardcore Electmon. I will be using the Mac Ishida here, as I do suddenly remember, thanks to that player who allows me to actually do this last minute replay. So the Gumamon is being taken out. Doesn't really affect much though. He does activate the Jack Raid there, so he's actually able to gain 2 memory, and thanks to the Devilwoman inherit skill, he's able to kill off the Electmon. And let's go for Takumi here, going to the Devimon once again, and now drawing 3 cards. There's a lot of draws, but he's actually heavily drawing the white option spell or even Zwart, which is actually the core pieces of the deck. Does swing the security though, and now hard calling another Labramon to pass the turn. So I do allow him to draw this card first before I do gain the memory of the Dual Tamer, which is effectively 4. And that's a huge swing as I push out the Vmon, and thanks to his ability, as opponent does have a level 6 on the field, I'm able to warp evolve to the All Force, bouncing back the blocker to his hand. And now this will be a very strong turn, I believe, as I'll be swinging at the Meramon here. And thanks to that Vmon and the Upamon skill, I'm able to draw, and now I do hit the 8 hand size, allowing me to stand with the All Force. Now I'll be swinging the security here for 1 check. It doesn't hit to any dead cards, and I do evolve to the Omimon here to actually kill the Lilithmon, and the opponent feels actually, I would say, cleanly wiped, and he must have a very tough time to actually evolve back to his Lilithmon and even achieve the combo. But we shall see, as he does evolve the Devimon here, now drawing 3 thanks to the 2 Takumis there, evolving to the Meramon for 1 more cost. But he does need to set up his board quickly, as he does go for a Black Wolgramon for 3 costs, passing back the turn to me. But he doesn't have any Digimon without Digisource for me to actually gain memory through the Dual Tamer here. But the turn does go on, and I do have an Omimon on the field, and I do hardcore or Gumamon first to actually use the Mac Ishida skill to actually take out the Digisource on the Devimon, sorry, so I can actually able to draw 1 through the Upamon skill, which I'm not sure if it's necessary, but I guess drawing is always good. He now does find the option to his hand, and I'll be swinging the security once more. He does hit into a Jack Raid here, which does give him, or rather push him to 2 memory here. So actually actually very unfortunate for him, because he does want to have 3 memory to evolve the Lilithmon there. Now he has to find ways to actually gain that 1 memory before he can actually start the loop. But very unfortunately, he doesn't have that 1 Jack Raid in hand, so it's actually pretty much a dead turn to him. So as I mentioned previously, against Lilith Loop, one of the ways is actually not to just give them 3 memory and hope for the best, given that they might not have the Jack Raids to actually do the combo. So in this case, he does actually hardcore blocker, and I do begin the turn with 8 memory thanks to the Dual Tamer. And this game is pretty much over, as I do have Hexeblaumon in hand. So as I do continuously evolving to Hexeblaumon finally, and these 3 blockers on the opponent's side of the field will basically become useless as they can't block without Digisource, and this is game. So we'll be moving on to game 3 here, and he'll be game first, hatching to Demi Meramon once again, evolving the Labramon this time, and evolves to the Meramon here for 1 cost, passing me back just 1 memory here, and I do evolve, already hatched to Upamon, evolving to the Bluecomon, evolving to the Vidramon here, passing back 1 memory once again. Now both players have actually just been evolving, and he does actually allow, or rather set up the Tamer there, the Takumi specifically. It looks like I'll be evolving to the Hexeblaumon, and thanks to that inherit skill, I'm actually able to make it just 2 cost evolution, passing him back just 1 memory. Now Demi Meramon will be patched here. He does evolve to Lady Devimon here, so with Takumi is able to draw 3 and discarding 2, discarding the Gazimon and the Devimon. Now another Upamon will be hatched here. Now going for the blue common there. Now going for the hammer spot to push me to 3 memory, so I actually can evolve to the Hexeblaumon already, which is actually quite strong in this tempo play. Now detach the memory, and I do activate 3 inherit skill here, drawing, gaining memory, and gaining 1 security attack. And thanks to the Hexeblaumon, it does have jamming, so it doesn't die. And I'm going to safely go into the Omimon here, given that he doesn't have anything on the board to actually pressure the Omimon. And I'm going to put the pressure on him, given that he's actually have to face the Omimon in terms of lethal. And he can't actually hardcore anything, or else the Omimon will actually gain criticals thanks to that 11 5 inherit. And he does actually end the turn by actually playing 3 Takumis there, which is pretty hardcore if you ask me. But the Omimon will do his shenanigans, bouncing the Hexeblaumon to hand, swinging just for 1 critical though. Doesn't die, swinging for 1 more. It does only die to potentially just a Zwart, but very lucky for me, I don't see any Zwart there. I do Hammer Spark to push him to 3, and then playing a Tamer to push him to just 1 memory. Now memory choking is very important in this game, so players should always play their Tamers. Now I just evolve the Lilithmon here, and with the 4 Takumis, actually able to draw up to 7 cards. But the turn does pass to me either way, so not a very big move I would say, and this game is most likely over as Omimon does swing at last security. And hitting to a Chimeramon, and the rookie will swing for a game. So let's talk about this Hexeblaumon deck, which actually I have been talking about it in the past 2 videos. So you guys might want to check that out for more information there, because the main idea that I want to talk about today would be Lilithloop. So let's talk about this Lilithloop deck that originated from Singapore. I would like to give a shout out to Alfred Go from Singapore, as he does come out with this deck idea specifically, which does bring a lot of, let's say, plays and comeback material through the power of Lilithmon and the Void option and Zwart. So the purpose of this deck, or rather the main idea, is actually to run Lilithmon, abusing its skill with the Jack Rate and the Void option to actually push you to 3 memory at least before you evolve to Zwart. And then when you evolve to Zwart, actually you're able to swing, or rather, sorry, you're actually able to call 2 level 5 Digimon from the drop zone first, then you swing the Zwart, bouncing that Lilithmon to hand, and then you actually evolve the Lilithmon once again, picking up that 2 Jack Rate from the drop zone, and then casting it once again, and the Lilithmon will give you the additional 2 memory once again, because it's a new Lilithmon. And then you are, if you do have another Zwart in hand, you're actually able to evolve another Zwart, and then you will be having probably, at the end of the turn, probably 6 to 7 Digimons, which is pretty broken given that you're actually interacting with the opponent field through the power of Zwart. And Zwart do actually able to nuke the opponent board. So let's talk about this deck specifically in terms of the ratio. So starting off with 3 Zwart there, 3 Zwart is actually optimal. You can actually play 4 if you don't see it, so it's actually up to player preference, but minimally you do want to play 3. And the 4 Lilithmon is definitely a need. And the 1 Anubismon to actually abuse with the power of, I would say, Zwart, given that any Digimons that revive from the drop zone will gain Rush. And I would like to add on that actually this deck do get benefited from BTO6, and I might actually visit it again through a deck profile in the future. So do let me know if you guys are interested in that. And for level 5, we actually seen 4 Devilmon, 2 Ogromon and 2 Chimeramon, and Devilmon will be the main card of the deck given that you do cycle more into your deck, and it does have a very strong inherit given that you're actually able to cast a spell and kill off a rookie, as this deck does actually quite vulnerable to Rookie Rush. So thanks to the Devilmon inherit ability, you're actually able to counter Rookie Rush quite significantly given that you will be casting spell either way. Now the Ogromon is just a flex I would say, but it's actually quite important if you do want to win the game with Omimon Zwart, given that the Digimons you call out doesn't have Rush. You're actually able to use his skill to actually kill off the Digimons and then swing it once again. And the double Chimeramon is actually just there to actually have a flexibility of killing opponent, given that opponent will be thinking that this Lilithloop deck will be quite slow, so having Chimeramon there will actually have a sudden Blood Sex. And specifically, it does act at level 5, which does have ability, or rather it does synergize with Zwart, so think of that. Next hit for the level 4s, just playing 10 count, 4 Meramon for the 1 cost, 4 Devilmon for the 1 cost as well, and he does play 2 Valmons for the blocker. So actually, to be honest, right, for purple specifically, there's so many ways you can play it, and there's so many cards in the current pool that you guys can actually try. So Lilithloop does have a lot of synergy, or rather a lot of potential in the current meta. Now moving on to the rookie itself, he do play 4 Gabumons with the inherent ability does give you to draw 2 and discarding 1. So in this deck you do want to cycle and build a drop zone. The Labramon does the same thing. The Guilmons are there actually to just gain memory through the power of your Wargroundmon ability, given that you can eat it and gain 1 memory, or rather the synergy through the Chimeramon, so you can actually just make it 6 costs. Or if you do play the ability, play Chimeramon through the ability of Zwart, it's actually basically a +1 memory. And he does play 2 Gazimon there, which is actually a very much needed card in the current meta, given that everyone does gain memory boost, and against blue specifically is the best card you do want to see against them. Now for the options, we are just playing 3 white options and 4 Jack Red, and these 2 are very essential to the combo deck, or rather the combo that you're going to achieve. And you might actually want to cut down to 3 for each of them, but it's up to player preference. But I would say this deck does require a lot of talent to pilot, and you do need to understand the game state to actually pilot it well. And for the Tamers, he's actually playing 4 Takumis for the draw power and anti-rookie rush, and the white dual Tamer there to actually give security to your Omimon Zwart, and also gain 2 memory if opponent does have a level 6 or above Digimon on their field. But I would actually recommend him playing the Purple Tamer there, because Purple Tamer does guarantee you 3 memory, and 3 memory is very important for you to even start the combo off. Now to round it off, we do play 4 Demimeramon, which is the most important rookie, or rather Digitama for purple specifically, especially this deck, given that you do want to draw into your combo as early as possible. Thank you for watching till the end, and do consider subscribing, dropping a like and a comment if you guys do enjoy the content.